Okay, so I have been using my cloth pad washing machine to wash all of my pads this cycle. So I'm going to basically tell you how it went and let you know my routine with it and what I found that works best for me. So normally when normally how I wash my cloth pads is in the washing machine. So what I do is I take off the soiled, I do a really lazy version because I know all kinds of people will take them off and immediately wash them out and like soak them overnight and then wash them. That's not what I do. I just take them off and throw them in my wet bag for like 3 days until I have enough cloth diapers to wash. And then I take them out when I'm about to throw them in the washer and I saturate them with my stain remover spray. And this, I made this with a bunch of Farmer's Stain Stick, which I really love. And then I throw them in the wash. I do a cold rinse with a little bit of detergent, and then I do a warm wash cycle with detergent. And they pretty much always come out clean, no staining. I've only ever had one pad, and it was a oh crud, what is it? Bamboo. It was a bamboo velour. Sorry, totally couldn't think of that. Bamboo velour pad that did have some like shadow staining, but I was able to just take the Farmer Stick itself. I wetted the pad, rubbed that on there, folded it back up in my wet bag, and left it until the next cloth diapering wash day, and threw it in and did the same thing, and it came out stain free. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I do. Well, not show you, but I'm going to kind of tell you and show you a little bit of what I do with my cloth pad washing machine. So if I know that I'm going to use my cloth pad washing machine, and I was set on washing every pad this cycle with it just to test it out. So what I would do is take off a soiled pad, and I would go ahead and saturate it with my bunch of Farmer's Stain Remover. And when it came, I washed with this every day or every day and a half, and I currently have the last few from my cycle in here. So what I did was I either just went ahead and took them out of the wet bag and ran them under the faucet until the water went clear, or I did put them in here and just shook them until obviously all the blood was out. But then what I found, because this doesn't work quite as good as the washing machine, you know, I mean, unless you just beat it, but it does really work, or at least I have found that it really works for me. But I have to add an extra thing. So what I do, like right now, these are used. I have gotten all the blood out, and I have about, I can't remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 pads in here. And what I'm going to do is add about half a cup of OxiClean. And I've just found with this method I kind of really need the OxiClean, and they need to, and normally I would probably add that before I'd stick the pads in there, but I didn't want dripping, soaking wet pads in my living room. So basically, since I did that, I need to put this in here and give it a really good shake so that we can get that stuff dissolved. Okay, and then so after I've got that dissolved, I'm basically going to let this sit. I'm probably going to push them down in there and make sure they're all good and everything. And I'm going to, and I let them sit with the lid off. I don't know, something just, and I'm going to let these sit for about 2 hours. And then once they sit for about 2 hours, I'm going to take them out and I'm going to rinse them off. And then I'm going to do a rinse. And then I'm going to put some clean water, put them back in there, put just a basically about a small amount of white vinegar and a small amount of detergent, depending on how much water and stuff that I have in there. And then I shake them for about a good minute and a half to 2 minutes, and then I take them out and see if there's any staining left, and if there is, I will just put them back in there and shake them for about another minute. And usually, there's not, at that point I haven't found that I've had really any spots left or anything like that. So then I would take them out, put fresh water, and do a rinse, and then they've come out pretty nice and clean. So I'm going to show you the ones that I have currently that have dried. And I also, obviously, if I'm using this cloth pad washing machine on the go, I'm probably not going to have a dryer. So since I use this to wash all the pads on my cycle, I also hung out all of my pads to dry, and so I'm going to show you the ones that I use this cycle that are dry. This is about a day and a half's worth of pads. I did have a heavier cycle this time, so I only used about one light, and I used several moderates and several heavies and just 3 overnights. But I don't have all those here right now, just the ones that are dry. So this is the light that I used, and I used this just when my period was starting, and I was just spotting just slightly. I probably spotted for a few hours before my period really hit, and it hit hard. I, for the first day and a half, bled really bad, like something I am just not used to. So I did do a review on this already. I will link it below if you haven't seen it. This is Hoo Hoo Rags, and this is a 10-inch light. I had no staining or anything on it. This is a 9-inch moderate pink lemonade minky tot. This is an Annie Bell's Essential moderate. I can't remember if it's 9 or 10. Let me compare. It's 10. 10. Heidi's Hearts Handmaids, 9.5 moderate. Cozy Folk, 10 moderate. Cozy Folk 10 Minky Topped moderate. Another one was Minky Top 2. Heidi's Hearts Handmade, moderate Minky Topped. Cozy Cloth, this is a moderate flannel topped, and it's a 9, I think. Beautiful buttoned bandages, this is a 9, cotton topped, and it is heavy. This is the Sew and Tell, and it is flannel topped, and it is a heavy. And I was super worried about this pad because I was at home, and I find this pad super comfortable, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna put this pad on, and you know, it's like the first day, it's not gonna be, because I always worry about my flannel staining, and it's just harder to get stains out for me. So I put this on, and then I went to the bathroom the next time, and it was covered. It was just like my period hit hard this month, but I actually got all of my staining out, and it did stain, it did leave. I mean, it left everywhere, and I had to definitely let this soak in the Oxy for definitely the 2 hours. So then I had another Cozy Cloth, and it is a 10, I think it's a 10. Yes, it's a 10, and it is flannel topped, and it's a heavy. And then I only have one of my overnights here that are dry because my overnights take forever to dry. This one actually, I was surprised for being an overnight and a heavy. It dried really fast. It dried faster than even my moderate pad, so That's crazy. It is Hoo Hoo Rags, and I just love the shape of the Hoo Hoo Rags. Yeah, but I was slightly worried. This is a brown. I was kind of worried about it staining, but I didn't have any issues with the Hoo Hoo Rags at all, even the light one. Once I basically ran the blood out of them, there was nothing even left at all. So those worked really, really well. And so those are the pads that I currently can show that aren't like soaking wet or being washed in my cloth pad washing machine on the go right now. So those are the steps that I use, and I found that they work really well for me. And oh, I always forgot to say that I do have marbles in the bottom of this. If you're not, you do need something in your cloth pad washing machine to kind of like aggravate this stuff. You can use the original lady that did this idea. She used golf balls, and I just already had marbles and I couldn't find golf balls and just didn't bother since I had marbles. So I just use those and have found that they work for me. I just have to make sure that I do, 2 minutes of shaking, maybe 3 depending on how bad the pads are soiled. 2 minutes, 3 minutes of shaking to get them clean. But I have found that this really works for me, and I will link the first video I did on this cloth pad washing machine down below for you. I will link a few other people that have used this cloth pad washing machine that have done videos for you down below, the original poster, and so on. And I will link a few of my monthly reviews down below, so you're just going to have a whole list of videos you can go down there and watch if you haven't seen them already. So thank you for watching my video. Subscribe and like.